Good morning, students. Let's continue our chapter Bills of Exchange, in which we will do the case 2. And the case 2 is if the bills of exchange is discounted from the bank. Many times this happens. As I'll consider the same example that X draw the bill and Y accept the bill. Sometime this happens. Suppose the bill is drawn for the 2 months, but 1 month before the X required the money. What the X will do? X will just give this bill to the bank and told them that after 1 more month, the bill is to be paid by Y. And I need the money right now. So please give me the money. And what the bank will do? Bank will deduct the interest on that, and that is considered as the discounted charges and paid the money to X. So what happened in that case? X will get the money 1 month before. What the X will do? X will get the money 1 month before. And on that, he has to pay discounting charges. And that is basically interest on the money he is getting in the earlier time. What I am telling to you, let's continue our example. X and Y are there. X draw the bill for 2 months. But after 1 month, X discounted the bill. So what happened in that case if the bill is discounted? Suppose if this case is there, what is to be done? X drawn a bill for 2 months. After 1 month, X discounted the bill from bank. This will be our second case. Now, what are the entries are to be done in the books of drawer? And in the books of drawing. Now, what should be the entries? First of all, X sold goods to Y, bill is accepted. And the third entry we did yesterday on the date of maturity. Now, on the date of maturity, the drawer is not receiving the money. But before that, 1 month early. So I think I should recall all the entries once again. Suppose on the 1st January, X sold goods to Y. So what will be the entry? X debit to sales account. Next, it is to be taken place on January 1st. Second entry, for what purpose it is to be done? In the narration, we will mark goods sold to Y. See, after that, the bill is to be drawn again on 1st January. And when the bill is drawn, it will become the asset for the business. That will be VR account debit to VR account debit to whom we are drawing the bill? We are drawing the bill to Y, and Y will give the acceptance. So acceptance by Y. Now, the next entry, when the bill is withdrawn, discounted from the bank after 1 month. After 1 month means it will be 1st February. On the 1st February, as the bill is discounted from the bank, what happened in that case? The X will receive the amount. Debit what? Comes in. Debit what? Comes in. So bank account debit to what he is giving in return. Credit what goes out. And what is going on? The BR is going from the X and BR is given to the bank. So the journal entry for the discounting of the bill will be bank account debit to BR, because 1 month is getting, and on the due date, what it will be? If you remember yesterday I told you what will be the due date. It will be 1st January to 1st February, 1st February to 1st March, and we will add 3 days of grace and it will become 4 March. Now on the 4 March, the bank drawer is not receiving any of the amount because drawer has received the amount earlier. When drawer has received the amount earlier, so at the time of payment, there will be no entry in the books of X. There will be no entry in the books of X. See, I'm repeating once again. Please look at this very carefully. On the 1st February, when the bill is discounted from the bank, in that case, see, the bill is discounted from the bank. When the bill is discounted from the bank, the entry will become bank account debit to BR. The entry will become bank account debit to BR. On which date it take place? It taken place on 1st February. On 1st February, this entry will be taken place. See, you can see here, it's 1st February. On 1st February, the entry taken place, that is your bank account debit to BR. But always remember, there will be no entry. There will be no entry in the books of drawer on due date. There will be no entry in the books of drawer on the due date. I'm just marking a star over here. Please see, there will be no entry. On which date? On the due date, there will be no entry. I hope this concept is clear to you in the books of drawer. In the books of drawer, when the bill is discounted from the bank, the entry is to be passed at that time. On the due date, there will be no entry because on the due date, bank is receiving the money from the Y instead of X. Let's move to the books of drawer. See what the drawer will do. Suppose on 1st January, when the goods sold to Y, it means the goods are purchased by Y. So the entry will be purchases account debit to purchases account debit to X, because goods purchased from X. We have to mark the narration as well. Goods purchased from X. Now, the next entry will be on 1st January. No, because yes, on 1st January, the bill is drawn. On 1st January, again, when the bill accepted, the second entry is to be done, and that will be X debit to bills payable because Y accepted the bill. The narration will be acceptance given. When the Y will give the acceptance, after that, what should be the entry? The next entry on the date of discounting of bill. When the discounting of bill is there, see, when the discounting of bill is there, it don't affect the X in the books of Y, because Y has to pay the amount at the time of maturity. So discounting of bill at the time, that time there is no entry is to be passed in the books of drawing. In the books of drawing at the time of discounting of the bill, that is 1st February, no entry is to be passed. But after the time when there is due date, on the due date, that will be March 4th, the entry will become, at the time of payment, bills payable account debit, because bills payable is written off now, it is to be paid, debit to bank account. In this way, this entry is to be passed on the due date for the payment of BP. Now, let's discuss once again how it is to be done. First of all, the first entry is to be done, that is to be, first of all, the first entry is to be done in the books of drawing. 1st January purchases to X, then on 1st January the bills payable is accepted by the Y, the entry will become X account debit to BP. But please mind it, here I'm marking a star that there will be no entry at the time of discounting of the bill, because at the time of the discounting of the bill, the Y has no effect, because Y has to pay the money in the time that is decided between X and Y. So Y will go for the due date, but Y will mark the entry on the due date. So Y will do the entry on due date, that will be 4th March. This entry is to be done, and in this case it is to be done at the time of discounting of the bill. I hope it is in front of you. You may have a screenshot or a click of this, because all the entries are to be highlighted and well marked with the tick mark and stars and underlined with different colors, because at the time of revision, I think it will be helpful to analyze the lecture. So I instructed everybody to take a screenshot, then I'll rub this drawings, whatever I made, whatever the text is there, and we'll go for the next case. I hope this case is understood by everybody. If still you have any query, please mark it in the query session, we will discuss. But always make yourself clear at the time of discounting for the bill. In the books of drawer, when the bill is to be discounted from the bank, on that date entry is to be passed, but on the due date there is no entry is to be passed in the books of drawer. On the another hand, at the time of discounting of the bill, no entry is to be made in the books of drawing, whether at the time of payment made, the entry is to be done in the books of drawing. Now see what is to be done in the next case. Let's move forward to the next case, that is, we did this case, bills drawn when the bills of exchange is discounted from the bank. Now we will do see, now I'll do the next case. The next case will be case 3. Bill is endorsed to Z. Suppose I'm doing it in the same because I just want to make you differentiate. So what we are doing over here, we are just doing the case now when the bill is endorsed to Z. Now we are doing this case. Now in the books of drawer, what must be the entry? See, what must be the entry? X account debit to sales account. The same entry is to be done. The same entry is to be done again. Then for the acceptance, the same entry is to be done. It will be same. It will be same. But at the time of now, this entry is not to be done. In this case, this entry is not to be made. Discounting of bill is not to be made, but on this place, what is the entry is made over here? It is for the endorsement. Now the bill is endorsed to Z. What happened in that case? At the time of endorsement, the entry will become Z debit to BR account. Z debit to BR account. What will be the narration? For endorsement of bill to Z. So in this way, this entry is to be made Z debit to BR account for the endorsement of bill made to Z. And again, on the due date, there will be no entry. On the due date, there will be no entry because the bill is already endorsed by X to Z on the place of bill discounted. Now the entry of bill discounted is not to be done, but instead of this, the entry of the endorsement is to be done. I'm repeating once again. We have discussed the third case in the same table, in the same content while comparing it. The first entry for the sale is to be done as it is. Second entry for the BR acceptance given by Y is to be done as it is, but as we are not discounting the bill, this time we are endorsing the bill. So what is going on there? Endorsement is going on there. So at the time of endorsement, the entry must be, it is for the endorsement of bill, the entry will be Z account debit to BR account. I'm highlighting the entry. Please see, please check and mark it as well. And now at the time of endorsement, when bill is endorsed to the person, when bill is endorsed to the person at the time of due date, no entry is to be passed in the books of drawer. Now, let's go to the books of drawing. In the books of drawing, the same thing is to be done. First of all, the entry for the purchases is to be done. After that, bills payable acceptance. And after that, no discounting of the bill. At the time of discounting of the bill, there is no entry. At the time of endorsement of the bill, there is no entry, because whether the drawer is endorsing the bill, whether the drawer is discounting the bill, it don't have any effect on the drawing. The drawing is know so well that drawing has accepted the bill and it is to be paid off while in time that is specifically decided with drawer. Whatever the timings are decided with the drawer, the drawing has to pay the money on that date. So the drawing is concerned with the due date only. The drawing is concerned with the due date. On the due date, the drawing will pay the money. So on the due date, the drawing will do the entry, and these three same entries are to be passed, whether it is the case 1. What is the case 1 we did yesterday? If the bill is retained by the drawer. Whether it is the case 2, bills of exchange is discounted from the bank. Whether it is the case 3, bill is endorsed to Z. Any of the cases there, any of the cases there will be no effect on the books of drawing. The drawing is supposed to do the 3 entries. First, at the time of goods purchased. Second, at the time of bills payable accepted. And the third, on the due date, when the payment is made by the drawee to the drawer or whether bank, in case bill is discounted from the bank, or whether to Z in case the bill is endorsed to Z. Whatever the activity is taken place, whether it is the discounted from the bank, whether it is the endorsement to a third party, it affects only the books of drawer. It will not affect the books of drawing. So it is all about for the day. I'm just stopping my lecture over here. Now, if anybody have any doubt, please ask. You are feel free to have any query right now.